Hey, it's your favorite local realtor, Eren Millam, with Premier Property Group. I help people achieve financial security and freedom through real estate. And you're probably wondering what the market is doing in Lewis County this last month. Now today we're going to go over it in detail and we're going to give you context because you might have seen the numbers, but what do the numbers actually mean? Now with that, let's get into it. So, did the sales price go up or down this month? So what we see in this graph is the last 2 months, the sales price has gone down. Now, does that mean the crash is upon us? Not so fast. Every year at this time, as you can see when you're looking at the graph, it does tend to take a dive as we come to the end of the year. In one of my previous videos, you've seen the lowest average sales price is usually around January, February. So the market is going down that way, and then from there, it'll tick back up. The next thing to look at is the average days on market. How long are homes staying on the market? Take this graph here. You'll see they've ticked up a little bit and are closer to about 60 days. So about 2 months on the market is what you can expect when you're trying to sell your home. And again, going into the holiday season, this is pretty standard. The next topic we're gonna look at is how many homes are actually for sale. So as you can see in that graph is, yeah, homes for sale is going up and maybe it's kind of leveling off, but it's still quite low compared to 10 years ago where we had nearly 900 units for sale. We're sitting at a little under 300 units. And so that kind of explains while the supply is down, with the high interest rates, demand is also down. So that's why you're seeing the market kind of stagnate a little bit. You're not really seeing prices coming down too much and there isn't buyer frenzies going on. So the market seems to be leveling out at this time of year. Again, I expect next year, the beginning of next year, prices will start going back up because the demand will tick back up. And if they start lowering the interest rates, then that demand is also going to go back up. Our next chart to look at is new listings. So from this, you can see that is trending downward, and it's at one of the lowest points it has ever been, well, in the last 3 years, since 2020 when new listings kind of shot right up. But here's the thing about this is new listings are going down while at the same time the amount of transactions we're doing each month is also going down. So that means we're putting less on than we're selling, and so they're both going down. So lower inventory, that's what's keeping the price up where it is. 10 years ago the price was around 140 was the average, and now we're at 440. So next we're going to take a look at closed sales. And you can see from this chart, for the majority of this year, we've hovered between 60 and 100 units. As far back as 2016, we've been peaking at 130, 150 units. Now we're not even crossing 100. I think the highest I've seen this year is like 91. So fewer homes going on the market, fewer homes closing, and even though demand is really low because of high interest rates, price is still kind of leveling up. It's been down the last 2 months, but the trend is still up. It's up year over year. Now getting into a little particulars when you're looking at the actual listing is what is the activity on these listings. So we're gonna take a look at some more charts here. This chart is showings per listing, and you can see it is going down. So that's to be expected with the holiday market, but you can see compared to the other years, the last 3 years, it's been way up. 4.5 showings per listing. Right now we're sitting at a third of that at 1.5 showings per listing. So that's why it's taking longer for homes to sell. Now keep that in mind. That's the showings per listing, right? So the average listing gets 1 to 2 showings, okay? Now, this is the average showings per listing. So as you can see, we're bouncing between 7 and 8. So if the average listing is getting 2 showings and the average listing takes 8 showings to sell, that's why the days on market is going up. That's why you're seeing price reductions, even though the average price seems to be still trending upward. And I think the key here is, how is your home positioned on the market? How is it being marketed to the masses to get a lot of activity? In my other videos, I've shown that while the average listing gets about 1.5 showings per listing, my listings get about 5 showings per listing, and they go pending in about those 5 showings. So not only am I getting more showings for my listings, but I'm reaching the right buyers for those listings. So you're not being bombarded with a bunch of looky-loos. And the final stat I will share with you is the average percent of last original price. And what this measures is where do you originally go on the market, and then where do you actually end up. So that's the graph here. So you can see in the last couple of years, we've been over 100%, and now we are a little bit under 94%. So this is a couple of things. In general, when you're making an offer on a home, I would look at this data and advise you to not offer full ask, but to ask about 94% of the list price, because on average, that is what the seller is taking. Now, the other thing about that is my average is hovering around 98%. So you want to be careful about who you select as an agent. You want someone who's going to price your home right, and then you want someone who's going to negotiate hard for you. So on average, you're going to get 3.5 to 4% more if you list with me versus the average agent in Lewis County. So that is your December market update. This is information for the month of November. If you're thinking about or considering buying in Lewis County in the next couple of months, or know someone, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer questions, whether we decide to work together or not. Please consider me a resource. As you can see, I'm quite nerdy. I really like to take a look at the data, and I can give you hard numbers to back up all the strategy in pricing and listing that I do. With that said, if you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any need to know market information about Lewis County, as well as other helpful information that I post on my channel, which I make a video 2 times per week if this is your first video you're watching. With that said, again, I'm Eren Millam with Premier Property Group, and remember, never settle for less than extraordinary.
Your favorite like a Realtor.